All right, welcome everyone to the Virtual College Exploration Program in partnership with Colleges That Change Lives. This is the Birmingham-Southern College information session, but before I pass it over to the presenters, I'm going to kick us off with some housekeeping items. If you haven't heard these before, we do have more sessions with Colleges That Change Lives through Tuesday evening, so if you're interested in continuing to connect with other colleges and universities, please check back on that schedule. When you do register for these sessions, you get a barcode in that confirmation email, but know that that barcode is not necessary for any of the virtual events you participate in. All of the sessions are being recorded and posted to our website shortly after the session concludes. So whether you want to rewatch one you participated live in or watch one you may have missed, just check back on our website for those updates. And then finally, you'll notice that you will be able to see and hear the presenters. They can't see or hear you all. This is webinar style format. So any questions you have throughout the presentation, feel free to type those into the Q&A box, and the presenters will do their best to address those throughout the session. So I'm going to pass it off to Jordan to get us started. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Jen. All right, I'm going to share my screen, guys, and get it full. All right, we get to go. Hi guys, my name is Jordan Porter. I'm an admission counselor at Birmingham-Southern College. I'll let Sydney introduce herself as well, but first you should know maybe I was a student at BSC from 2013 to 2017. So I'm really excited to share with you guys today some info on Birmingham-Southern College as well as maybe some personal stories. Take it away.
Hey guys, my name is Sydney Sullen. I'm also admissions counselor at Birmingham-Southern. I did not attend BSC, but I've been here for about a year. So super excited to hop on and tell you guys more about what BSC has to offer.
So I always want to point out on this welcome slide that what you're looking at is a screenshot of campus with the beautiful cityscape of Birmingham behind it. I don't know where you guys are joining us from today, but sometimes I have to point Birmingham, Alabama out on a map and explain that it is a city and we do have some tall buildings here. So let's get into it. What you're looking at now are some screenshots of campus. And as I mentioned, Sydney and I are going to talk to you guys about all things Birmingham-Southern. So our job is really just to explain all the facts and the figures, things of that nature, and then we'll get around to the Q&A here at the end. But right now, I'm gonna share some things like what will I learn at Birmingham-Southern College and how will this academic experience support my learning, my growth, and what kind of opportunities are available for me outside of the classroom, because going to college is, of course, important to get your education, but we want you to have fun along the way. So we'll talk about things to do both on and off campus to kind of get involved and spend your spare time. So I'd like to start with the biggest question first, which is what makes Birmingham-Southern College so special? For those of you who may be just getting started on your college search, I want to call attention to the Colleges That Change Lives. This is the publication, of course, and it's why we're here, the CTCL College Fair. And Birmingham-Southern is on this list of schools described as a high quality and a caring place where a person from any part of the country would not only feel comfortable, but would grow morally, intellectually, and personally. So we've also taken that into, our mission statement. Our job here at Birmingham-Southern is to educate the future leaders of America, to help you guys lead lives of significance. You're going to be challenged while you're in school. And I want to point out that at BSC, we believe your degree is not going to be a piece of paper that you hang on the wall, but it should be an understanding of the world and how you work within it, because that degree is going to be an understanding of what you're carrying into the world. So I'll highlight then the explorations curriculum. At BSC, you're not going to get a specific list of classes that you have to take. Instead, we're going to share with you a list of skills that you have to demonstrate. And these are skills like effective communication and creative problem solving. You can continue reading down through these explorations curriculums, but it's just significant to remember that all of the courses that you're taking, you're meeting these educational objectives through completely different areas of study. So I'll give you an example. Say you've got to take a quantitative analysis class within the creative problem solving curriculum, okay? So you see you've got to take one QA class to meet that requirement. And if you're anything like me, maybe math is not your strong suit. Maybe you don't want to take finance or stats. That's okay. Instead, you could take astronomy, or you could take logic, which is a philosophy class, and that fulfills the same requirement. So in this sense, you're learning through a different lens. You get to essentially build your own curriculum based on your interests. So you can be in a classroom, like I said, challenged by your peers, by your professors, and you're really going to care about what you're studying because you've chosen the class that interests you. And like I said, you're not going to be behind on any graduation requirements because all of these are significant. All of these are helping you lead that life of significance. And while you're here, you're learning alongside 1,200 students from 31 different states and 18 different countries. Nearly half of our student body is from outside of Alabama. So it's a very diverse learning community, and we have the residential community as well. So like whether you're inside or outside of the classroom, you're getting exposed to people from all walks of life, and it's amazing an experience because it is like a melting pot here on the Hilltop. Our student to faculty ratio is 12-1. Our student to faculty and staff ratio is 3.5 to 1. I know it's weird to put like a decimal up there when you're talking about a human, but I always point out that that means that there are so many people on campus who truly care about your success. There are people there who have already gotten the degree that you're getting. There are people there who can help you fix up your resume, do job prep, interview prep. They're going to write your letters of recommendation, things of that nature. Your average class size is 16 at Birmingham-Southern. Although, speaking from experience, my largest entry-level class sizes, as I got my degree in business administration, I was in a classroom of about 25 to maybe 30 students at very most. And then by the time I got up to those upper-level classes to satisfy my literature requirements for my minor, I was sitting in a semicircle of like 6 or 8 students. And I remember my professor literally starting class one day by asking the question, "What did you hate about your reading last night?" So just to like, I guess, emphasize and to underline the fact that you're going to be challenged, you're also going to have to speak up and going to have to participate in class. And that's an awesome experience, especially for somebody like me, the back row student in high school. I was like, don't call on me. I'll come to you if I need help. But college really changed my perspective, changed my way of thinking. And I became a very more outgoing person. Wouldn't be giving this presentation if it weren't for BSC. All right, the last thing that I will talk about before I pass it over to Sydney is the areas of study at BSC. So what you're looking at are some of our predefined majors, minors, distinctions. What's highlighted in color are our most popular programs. That's business, education, pre-health, pre-law, and psychology. Pre-health is our version of pre-med, and that along with pre-law are both pre-professional programs. So you're going to be, you would major, let's say, in biology if you wanted to go pre-health, and that just means you're on a specific track where everything is already guided for you. You're going to have a specific advisor on campus who, like I said, knows everything that there is to know and who's going to help you succeed in that area. At Birmingham-Southern, you don't have to declare your major until the end of your sophomore year. So that gives you a lot of opportunities to explore. And if you don't see what you are looking for on this list, you can also contract your own, and that will begin your sophomore year. All right, Sydney.
All right, so at Birmingham-Southern, you're going to be on a 4-1-4 schedule. And so what that means is you'll take 4 classes in the fall, 1 in January, and then 4 in the spring. Now, the 1 in January, that's what we call expiration term, E-term. Some people might even call it Jan term. During that time, you're going to focus on one experience for the entire month. Our students do such fun and amazing things, and sometimes they can be completely unrelated to your major. So let's say, for instance, you could be a business major, but you could go to Uganda and teach. You could have a theater major and make up your own business. There's opportunities for our students to study abroad during that time. So if you're interested in studying abroad, but you don't want to commit to that year-long or semester-long adventure, you can do it just for the month of January. But there's also opportunities for our students to have fun in e-term just on campus or in the city of Birmingham. And so our students who choose not to do the let me go out of the country for e-term, they stay on campus. They'll do fun things like create their own business in 1 month. They do something fun like Southern cooking. I know of a swimmer, she actually did psychology of video games for the whole month of January. So they played video games and just kind of studied how the human brain works. So like I said, fun, exciting things, and they can be totally unrelated to your major. As a student, you're required to participate in 2 e-terms, but some students go on and do one every year. And then there's study abroad opportunities. So there's also opportunities for our students to study abroad a year long or semester long if they're interested in that. And we are proud to partner with 9 different colleges in the world. So we have opportunities for our students to engage in those ventures out there. And what's really cool about this is that we offer our students a pre-departure class. So just when you're going to another country, you might not know their customs, might not know how things work over there. And so that's why we have that pre-departure class. It just prepares our students so they can kind of get an idea of what they can expect. We also have scholarships for our students. So to knock off that price of study abroad, we have scholarships available. There's also a lot to dive in outside the classroom. So if you're interested in getting involved in the community, if you're looking for an internship, if you're just looking to maybe contract your major. So if we don't have a major that you're interested in, you are going to go to the Career Lock Institute for all this stuff, guys. So if you're on campus and you were taking a tour, we would take you by the Norton Center, and that's where the Career Lock Institute office is located. We are also really big on community service at BSC. So let's just say you're a student at Birmingham-Southern. Within your 4 years, about 80% of students are going to be involved in some type of community service in some type of capacity. So whether you have a heart for the community or not, you're probably going to end up doing community service. But all in all, it makes you a well-rounded individual, and it can be really fun and fulfilling. We also have guaranteed internships for our students, and I think this is a really big BSC takeaway, something that I'm really proud about, these guaranteed internships. So being in one of the, or actually the largest city in Alabama, and we have law firms, hospitals, media firms. So we're plugging our students in there. They learn what they learn in the classroom and they take it out in the field. The greatest and I think the best example I have is for the student that really believes that they want to be a teacher, and they get plugged into the classroom their freshman year. And then sometimes they're like, wait, I don't want to be a teacher. So we're so proud that we can say that we're sticking our students in the field their first year, and they don't have to wait till their junior year. And we are also a really big residential college. About 80% of our students stay on campus all 4 years. So as a freshman, as a first-year student, you're required to stay in the traditional style dorms. And what that means is it's going to be you and one other person sharing a room, and then you'll share a bathroom with other girls or guys in the hall. And then after your freshman year, you can now stay in a apartment style dorm. So you got to go through the freshman year traditional style dorm, and then you can enjoy the nice life on campus. So right here pictured are some pictures of our residential halls, and the one on the very bottom, that is what you're looking at if you get to live in an apartment. It's kind of got that living room style, and it's not pictured, but on either side you have your own private bedroom. Even though we are a small campus, we have a lot to offer with student organizations. Our student orgs are students that really want to get their hands wet, and our students are probably involved in more than 3 student organizations. That's just the BSC student, and they are wanting to get engaged, wanting to get their hands wet, wanting to help out the community. Our most popular student organizations I would say that we have on campus is SGA and then the Student Programming Board. Both of those organizations do a really great job of raising money and getting students on campus involved, or getting them involved outside of campus, such as giving them tickets to movies or giving them tickets to a baseball game. And they also have events on campus like casino night, Mardi Gras night. So always a lot of things to do on campus, and we thank the student orgs for that. We also have opportunities for our students on campus. These are our most popular, the ones that we like to talk about a lot. So around October time, we'll have something called Halloween on the Hilltop. So Birmingham-Southern is kind of located around the community. So around that time, families come to campus and we have like a big carnival style thing going on for the kids. It's a lot of fun. In January, it's called Mama's Home Cooking. So remember that E-term that I talked about. So when you come back from E-term, wherever you went, or maybe if you just stayed home, your mom, your dad, your uncle, your aunt, whoever comes on campus and brings like their favorite dish or their dish that they're known for, and then everyone eats potluck. So it's just a really great time seeing everybody coming back from Christmas break and from E-term, and then you just have fun and eat food. And then in May, that can kind of be a stressful time for students, and so we'll bring puppies on the quad, and then everyone gets to pet the puppies. For me, that would stress me out because they move so much, but a lot of people find that fun. So those are just some things that we have going on campus. So we are a Methodist affiliated college, but there are no chapel requirements. Pictured right here is Julie Hawley. She serves as the chaplain for Birmingham-Southern. She is here to help students no matter, what their religious life is, no matter what their faith is or their belief, denomination. She's here to help you guys out. On campus, we host 5 different Christian services throughout the week, but students are encouraged to get involved on campus and then outside in Birmingham as well.
All right, cool. You might also take part in one of our 13 Greek organizations at BSC. So we've got 6 sororities and 7 fraternities. All of them do have housing on campus. The sororities have a row of townhouses, and the fraternities have a row of fraternity houses, and they sleep various numbers of members. But I think what's important to know about Greek life at Birmingham-Southern is truly just that it's not customary to have such small chapter sizes. So the general chapter membership would be between 50 and 60 members. And these men and women truly pride themselves in the work that they do. And by that, I mean they are ranked for fundraising efforts with their local and their national philanthropies. They maintain very high GPAs as well. They're kind of competitive with it. They are involved in intramural sports and participate, in things like Greek Week, where everybody, the whole campus community is just kind of rallied around the same fundraising efforts. It's also important to know that we have a recruitment process at Birmingham-Southern. So move-in is actually happening this week at BSC. All of our students are coming to campus to, move themselves physically in, and we'll have another 4 weeks before the start of recruitment. So that means you're going to get yourself adjusted already to your course schedule, to your classes. You're going to meet everybody on your hall, and you're going to know a lot of friendly faces around campus before you go through that recruitment process at BSC.
Jordan, we have a question. Emily wants to know, if you can go back, is Greek life an important part of life at BSC?
That's a fantastic question, and I'm glad you mentioned that. So I will say I think it's roughly 45 to 50% of our campus population is Greek, and that varies from year to year. But Sydney hit the nail on the head earlier when she was talking about all the ways to get plugged in on campus, right? So there are calendared events that happen year-round that she went over, and then there's so many other service opportunities, so many other organizations on campus. Greek life plays a significant role for those who are involved in it, but I don't think in any way defines who you are at BSC. So many of these men and women hold leadership positions in the organization, like their Greek organization, and then in other organizations across campus as well. So they're big on leadership, and they're big on involvement and inclusivity. That was a great question, and I hope I answered it. All right, I don't know if I have any collegiate athletes out there, but Birmingham-Southern students are competitive in and out of the classroom. We have 22 varsity sports teams that compete in the NCAA Division III athletic program. So this is the Southern Athletic Association. We have, I think it's 30% of our campus, maybe 33% of our students are athletes. And I want to say that you are cheering on, in many cases, like your friends and your roommates. So you're not looking at some stranger on a Megatron television, because you're right there on the sidelines cheering them on. All of our practice facilities are also like on campus, with the exception of the golf course. And then our swim and dive team utilizes the Birmingham Crossplex, which is about 2 miles down the road, for all their lap pools and things like that. So our athletes maintain a GPA of over 3.0 collectively. So if we have time at the end, I definitely want to cover information on the honor code, but it's important to know that you're a student athlete, your professors and your coaches work very, very closely together to make sure that you're geared up for success and you're truly driven in the classroom and on the field or the track or in the pool, wherever your sport takes.
We got a question from Riley about athletics. She wants to know, what is the atmosphere like on game days? Do the BSC athletes have a good support system? And you kind of already answered it, but it's cool if you retouched.
Yeah, so I cheered while in college, and like Saturdays were so fun, right? I mean, you're not in a stadium of like thousands and thousands of people because you're there with your family. Like the students that you meet on campus are your best friends, right? And you're like lifelong. I think game days and sporting events at BSC are super fun to take part in because you know everybody who's playing. I have memories of like making big signs, you know, go Maddie, and we would holler from the side of the basketball court when I wasn't cheering. So I hope that answers the questions about game day, but it's definitely a fun time, and it's something that I definitely miss this year since we're not having athletics. Thank you, coronavirus. But like I also have a memory of my first week as an employee at BSC when our baseball team came back from their national championship game. They were national runners-up, but they came in on the bus, and the campus community was all there with their black and gold pom-poms and their welcome home signs. And it's that spirit of camaraderie that echoes through the halls of BSC. So great questions. I'm going to move on now to resources because I'm throwing so much information at you. You may be curious to know what kind of resources will be available to help with this transition from high school to college. I'll start by mentioning that every single student who comes to campus will receive an academic advisor. And this could be somebody who knows everything there is to know about your major, or it could be somebody who has worked in the field that you want to work in when you graduate. And this is somebody you'll meet with several times throughout the semester to keep yourself on track. They'll check in with your course schedules. They'll help you get registered for classes if needed. We also have counseling and health services on campus, career center on campus. If fitness and recreation is your thing, there is Strickland Fitness Center. So I say all of that to say that we definitely want to provide that support when you get here, so much so that we have the academic accommodations office, we have first generation student support, and we've got, I'm missing out on something, it's a first year success advisor as well. So we're not gonna let you fail, we are here for you. One more resource that I want to mention is our campus safety. So this is a full task force of 18 police officers on campus. If you had driven up for a normal campus tour, you would have literally waved to them as you go through the gate. Something significant to know is that Birmingham-Southern actually has an entire gate around it. So there's one entrance, one exit, you're very secure. And these men and women will know your face and probably your name by the end of your 4 years here. What you're looking at right now, I usually tell people, I promise, is not a staged photo. I'm pretty sure this is an action shot of what they do every time that campus closes. So whether it's fall break or spring break or Christmas break, when the students are going home, but the campus police officers are still there, they set up this kiosk. And I mean, they will check your wiper fluid. They will check your tire pressure. Like, I can't tell you how many times as a student and an employee now that I've used that tire pump. And I've even had Chief Harris help me with it. These people will feed your goldfish when you go home for the weekend. So they're great people, and another resource that you will undoubtedly take advantage of during your 4 years at BSC. As you leave, you're actually entering the extended campus of Birmingham. And there is so much to do here. Like, Sydney, I might even have you chime in and tell me your favorite things to do in Birmingham, but I know I'm an outside kind of girl. I love Vulcan. I've been up twice, I think, climbed to the top of the statue that you see right there, and you get this 360-degree panoramic view.
Story time.
Yes.
I went for the first time a month ago, and I got a workout.
Yeah.
But also, it was really, really cool, like being at the very tip and like seeing all of downtown Birmingham.
Did you see BSC from there?
Maybe I don't know, maybe.
I know. There's a lot of sights to see in Birmingham for sure. So I'm sure you were just taking it all in. Next time, take me with you, because I think I'm overdue on another trip to the top. Yeah, we'll count the stairs and we'll get back to you guys. But totally, if sports and outdoors are your thing, there's plenty of things to do in Birmingham. Just right down, we've got the minor league Barons baseball team. So that's where Michael Jordan played. Another fun fact. And Sydney mentioned Quest 2, the student programming board, sponsoring nights out for students. I'm telling you, like, firsthand experience. Sometimes when you go on like a Thursday or Friday night game, you look around and you see like so many BSC students there, because Quest 2, the programming board, had provided tickets for students to sign up and to go to the game for free. Another thing that you'll see on the bottom left of the screen is the Pepper Place Farmers Market. So I recently read that our campus dining staff, like the chefs who basically make our at BSC, will do demonstrations and like cooking exhibitions at the farmers market. So that's really cool, and that's something that our students like to do as well. And then spend some time in downtown Birmingham. So Birmingham has so many art museums, and the Civil Rights Institute is downtown. There is like the Sidewalk Film Festival. That's the photo that you're looking at right there, which is like a mini Sundance film festival. And like I say all this to say, no matter what your interest is, you're gonna find somewhere to explore in Birmingham. I've been here for 6 years and I still have a Birmingham bucket list. Say go for the food in Birmingham. It's like every week a new restaurant is opening, and I guess I don't know what this says about us as an office, or maybe Birmingham-Southern as a place, but we have an entire slide dedicated to food, because if you're not missing out, or if you're not eating in Birmingham these days, you're missing out on something unique and special. So when you get to come for a Remote Life campus visit, we will point you in all the right ways to get a good meal. We'll send you to Big Spoon Creamery even for some ice cream. I don't like ice cream, but I love the Big Spoon Fruity Pebbles ice cream. It's made with real cereal milk, and they're always changing their flavors. So there's a lot to do here. Do you have a favorite place to eat?
Right now it's Farley's.
I haven't been there. What's your go-to? Okay.
Yeah, don't have a go-to yet, because I'm trying to get away from chicken tenders all the time. So check back in with me for that.
Okay. Yeah, we like our chicken places certainly here, and our barbecue places, and we eat good in Birmingham. I'll let Sydney talk to you a little bit about getting your application in at BSC.
Yeah. So at Birmingham-Southern, there are 2 ways to apply. There's actually 3. There's a paper application, but no one really does paper anymore. So let's just say there's 2. So you can apply to BSC through the Common app, and that is going to be free before November 15th. And then you can apply online, and that is always free. Really easy. Go to bsc.edu. In the search bar, you can type apply, and then that first link that comes up is your link that you want to use to apply. So these are just some important dates for you to remember or take note of. So as you start looking at other colleges and maybe join in on some virtual info sessions like this one, you're like, I know I want to go to BSC, I'm not going anywhere else, I'm sold, then you can apply earlier decision. So that is binding, meaning if you get a message from us saying, hey, you're admitted, that you are committed to coming, that deadline is going to be November 2nd. If you're not quite sure and you're still weighing out your options, that's totally okay. You can apply early action. Now, for early decision and early action, if you apply by these dates, you will get an admissions decision before the Christmas break lets out. So that's a great time to kind of know where you've been admitted. I know that's a time that a lot of family members like to ask you, you know, where your head's at on colleges. So it'd be great to add BSC in the mix. And our regular decision deadline is February 1st. So if you still need more time, know that that deadline is February 1. In October, that's when the FAFSA opens up. Please fill that out. Whether you think you won't get anything, do it anyway. You'll never know. And if you're not quite sure about how the FAFSA works, reach out to your admissions counselor. That's why we're here to help you, guide you through that process, because it's all new and weird and confusing. And then in the springtime, that's when your financial aid packages go out. So if you file the FAFSA, in the spring is when we'll send you how much money you're going to get, and you want to know that. And then May 1 is National College Decision Day. I'm sure you guys have seen it on social media when people, you know, have their shirt on or their mom posts a picture or whatever, declaring where their student or they're going for the fall. So that's really exciting. So how do I apply? How can I do this? So there's two ways for our students to apply: standard and test optional. If you're applying standard, you want to send in your high school transcript and your ACT and SAT test scores. So those are the things that are required. These items, the essay, the letter of recommendation, the interview, they're not required, but they're encouraged. And if you're thinking of applying test optional, all you need is your high school transcript, and you need to write an essay or personal statement. We have prompts on our website for our students to kind of figure out, you know, well, what in the world am I supposed to write about? Feel free to check out our website or reach out to your admissions counselor. Again, that's why we're here. And then it may not be required, may be asked if you can send in a letter of recommendation and then do an interview with your admissions counselor. I just want to state right now, this might be a crazy time, and you seniors on here or juniors or whatever, but this time we're in, you might not have test scores because you couldn't take the test, it kept on getting canceled. You could only take it one time and you didn't do very well. That's why we have that test optional option, and we've always been test optional. But I think now it's important than ever just because of this crazy time that we're in. And even so, and I think the next slide, you're still eligible for scholarships, even if you don't have test scores. So don't worry. And here we are with our scholarship grid. So this is our scholarship grid for the students last year. For this upcoming year, for these upcoming 2021 seniors, it should stay the same. If it does change, it will just be just a little bit. You'll see right here on the column, this is where we're talking about your high school GPA. And I want to stop I want to stop real quick and talk about the GPA. So on your transcript, you might see that it's a 3.8, but we recalculate GPA. So we're not going to count anything like basket weaving or PE or anything like that. We're only going to count the foreign languages and the core classes. We also take account of AP classes or IB classes or dual enrollment. That might help or increase your GPA. And then on the row, you'll see the ACT, SAT test scores listed there. And then at the very bottom, you can see that students that apply test optional are still eligible for up to $11,000. And we also have special scholarships for our students. So if you're Jewish, there's a scholarship for that. If you're a Methodist, there's a scholarship for that. If you are really into business, there's a scholarship for that. BPA, that's always a good one too, visual and performing arts. If you're really big in theater and acting and singing or playing some instrument, there's a scholarship for you. I think it's really important to note that you stay in touch with your admissions counselor. Let your admissions counselor know what you're involved in, what activities you like to do. Let's say that you're really big on community service. There's a scholarship for that. So if you don't know, ask. It's never wrong to ask questions. We have these scholarships to help our students and to offset the cost of college.
Yeah. Hey, Sydney, is there a separate application for academic scholarships?
No, so there's not. So that's why it's super important for you to make sure you really submit a really strong application the first time, because that's what we'll use for the special scholarships. However, even though there's not a separate scholarship application or a separate application for scholarships, some of these scholarships are listed here. They want you guys to fill out another form and maybe submit something, not necessarily another application. So that's why it's super important to make sure that first initial application you put in is as detailed as possible. If you have any questions, ask your admissions counselor, so you know that you're putting your best foot forward.
We're here for you.
Yeah. So right here, I don't think we're having anyone transfer. I think we might have the majority of our population with us, our first years and freshmen. But if you have any questions, reach out and we will direct you to your admissions counselor, Pamela. Yep. So right here, this is the direct cost of attendance to attend BSc with tuition and fees, housing, and unlimited meal plan. There we go, talking about food. So you're looking at a total of $31,800. This is really priced competitively against other private liberal arts colleges and even really big state schools. So you're definitely getting the value at BSc.
Absolutely. Because we understand when you're talking about the cost of college, even the small can be hard to justify for a four-year education. But at BSc, your money gets you the highest four-year graduation rate in the state of Alabama. We also boast an average salary for graduates that is 1/3 higher than the national average. Birmingham-Southern College, along with being a member of CTCL, has been named as one of the top 10 colleges that lead to graduate school, one of the top best value schools in the US, and one of the top 100 colleges for return on investment. So I tell you all of that to remind you that we understand you are investing a lot in us. You're investing 4 years, you're investing tuition, you're investing so many sleepless nights in the library studying for finals. We in turn are going to invest in you. Just to bring it like all the way back to the beginning, we want you to leave Birmingham-Southern prepared to conquer the world, to leave that life of significance, and to leave your mark on society. So I want to talk really briefly about some things that happened in the spring and that are coming up again in the fall. So you'll be on our new mailing list and our distribution for some of our new live chats. Throughout this year, we did several chats just on various topics. So you can go to chat.bsc.edu and view some of our archived chats about the admission process or academics. If you want to learn more about affordability and scholarships, grab your parents and tune in, make it a movie night kind of thing, and hear from our current students. Do a Q&A. It's pretty cool. We are always here to answer questions, but that is an awesome resource and kind of a starting point for you guys to begin this college search with Birmingham, and then stay tuned for what goes on in the fall this year as well. So that was so much information. I won't take much more time covering the basics. Let's jump into Q&A right now. Sydney, what do we got?
Yeah, so we have how much more time? About 7 more minutes left. So if you guys have questions, go ahead and send them in. We've got one. Emily is asking, are there religion course requirements in the BSc curriculum?
Religious course requirements?
Like within the BSc curriculum?
No, there are not course requirements. Although we are Methodist affiliated, that does not technically translate into the academic sector at BSc. But if that's something that you want to take part in, we actually have a really awesome like Office of Religious Life and a religion program at BSc. One of my college roommates was a religion minor, loved her time there. So you don't have to, by any means, take any religious courses in order to graduate. But if it is on your heart and you feel called to do so, do it, because I love my religion class that I took.
Nice. We've got another question. Is marching band or just band in general a popular extracurricular activity?
So correct me if I'm wrong, Sydney, but I think our band is not marching. Well, they weren't when I knew them, but a lot of students do participate in band.
They're more so of like a band that kind of, I think it was maybe my first week at Birmingham Southern, and they were playing outside the quad or outside of Norton.
Yeah,
So they do fun things like that. And they also go to the football games, but it's not like a marching band.
they do. They do go to the football games. They put on like a halftime show, but it's not like a marching show. And we have like a couple different other groups of band. Like I'll say our jazz band.
Right.
So much fun to be around. Like that's how I was out at the fountain. And yeah. So there's a band, and there are totally opportunities to get involved. Whether you want to do that as part of your your campus experience, or you just want to do it for fun, we can help you out.
Yeah. So we've got another question. Is this a suitcase college, or are there weekend activities? It's two-part too, so remember that. And then the second part is, can you speak on intramurals?
Yeah, totally. Okay, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. My freshman year of college, there was so much to do, so much to get involved in that like I never went home. It was only a 2-hour drive, but I never went home, and my mom was like, "Are you ever into me?" So this is definitely not a suitcase college. I mean, 80% of our students live on campus all 4 years, and that lends itself to the community and the convenience on campus. There are always things to do, like program students or other students, or I mean, you might just decide to take up a part-time job, and that's going to keep you in Birmingham and keep you exploring and keep you engaged. So that's a great question, and I'm really glad I got that because these kids like we stay here for sure. It's like a little and then beyond that, the second question was about intramurals, right? Cool. Basically, any student organization can be a part of intramurals, and any independent human, any like solo artist, if you will, they can also join a team and go play intramurals. I don't know how many sports. I don't have my little info in front of me. I don't know how many sports we offer, but there's like water polo. So I know they play in inner tubes. That's super entertaining to watch in the pool because they're paddling. Playing polo. I know that there's ultimate frisbee, flag football, kickball. So you can definitely take advantage of that too.
All the fun. Josie wants to know, can she double major?
Hey Josie, yes, you can absolutely double major. That's something I think to talk about with your academic advisor when you get on campus, because they will know more about the requirements for each major. And the last thing we want you to do is stress yourself out or stretch yourself too thin. So definitely explore that as an option with your academic advisor.
And I will say, we actually had a counselor in our office. She was a BSc alum, and she double majored. So she double majored in business and music. So that is doable.
And I got a minor too. Like, it can be done.
Maddie wants to know, how big of a role does religion play in the campus atmosphere?
Yeah, great question, Maddie. I think it plays as much of a role as the student wants it to. So I recall my college experience participating in chapel every week. They have a very like that kind of chapel service, and I would attend those on Monday nights. And then I was guilty of getting myself over involved, and toward the end of my 4 years at Birmingham-Southern, I found home in another church in the city of Birmingham, and I participated in like small groups and things like that off campus at that time. I couldn't put a number percentage-wise on what big of a role, what large amount of a role religious life plays at BSC, but it does vary from student to student based on interests.
Okay, we're almost out of time, so I'm going to answer this question real quick. Sophie wants to know, are there scholarships re-awarded every year, or it's just once for all 4 years? So it's every year, but you have to maintain a certain GPA, and we can go more into detail about that. But let's just say you knock it out of the park, you're going to get $11,000 every year. And then we can end on another question from Maddie. Jordan, I think you should answer this. What would you say was the most shaping experience you had at Birmingham-Southern?
Oh my goodness.
Amazing question to end.
That's such a tough one. Okay. Not backing down from a challenge. I know that seems very generic, but I quickly became the student that never said no. I was involved in so many different things. I was pushed to be the best version of myself. I was pushed to sit in the front row of a classroom, which terrified me as a high school senior. So one of my biggest takeaways, I think, is all of the independent study, independent research, and then being able to lean on peers when needed.
Alrighty, well, I think we finished.
We did it. If you guys need us, email us. Certainly. Thank you so much for joining.
Thanks, guys.
And I just want to thank Jordan and Sydney for sharing their afternoon with us and all that great information. And as they said, email them, but I will make sure that your all's information gets over to them, so the conversation definitely doesn't have to stop here. And I just want to thank you all so much for joining us today. As you exit the Zoom webinar, you will be taken to a quick survey. It's only 4 questions, so we'd love to hear feedback regarding this particular session. And as I mentioned from the get-go, we have more sessions with Colleges That Change Lives through Tuesday evening, and recordings will be available on our website shortly. So I hope everyone has a great afternoon, and thanks so much again to Jordan and Cindy.
Bye, guys.